and welcome to a very special edition of Connect the World. I'm Hannah Vaughan-Jones in, well, you can probably already tell where I am from this magnificent building behind me. Yes, of course, it's Buckingham Palace here in the heart of London. And we're following two huge stories for you today. One, in the country this place has a very special relationship with, America. There, right now, Republicans are trying to prescribe changes to healthcare laws. It is perhaps the most important issue in perhaps the world's most important country. Everything you need to know on that story in just a moment. But first, the reason we are here outside Buckingham Palace, news from Britain's royal family. The palace has announced that Prince Philip will retire from his public duties. In a statement, the palace said the Duke of Edinburgh will continue his engagements until the end of August, adding that he has the full support of his wife, Queen Elizabeth II, in taking this decision. The Duke himself will turn 96 next month. Well, after the announcement, he and the Queen stepped out to attend a service at St James's Palace, and just yesterday, the Duke was seen carrying out a solo event in London at Lord's Cricket Ground. Well, the Queen will continue with her full schedule, along with support from other royals. Well, Max Foster has been covering the royal family for many, many years, and many, many hours today as well, Max.
But not Prince Philip anymore. Not
Prince Philip anymore. I mean, when the call first went out this morning, lots of speculation, the rumour mill went into overdrive. I mean, he's 95, he's nearly 96. I mean, he expected to retire. Are you surprised?
It was one of the things we talked about before the announcement. I mean, basically what happened was they called a staff meeting here, which they tend to do, and in their world, this is a very big event because one of their main principals they're not going to be working with in public anymore, just behind the palace walls. But it leaked, the information leaked, and then there was this vacuum of information. I was told it wasn't, you know, the most serious worst case scenario, which a lot of people were talking about, but it was significant. And then we tried to figure it out. So Buckingham Palace was being refurbished, and then, yeah, we talked about Prince Philip maybe stepping back, maybe the Queen stepping back, but she said she would never abdicate. So that's the natural conclusion. That was, in fact, you know, what transpired in the end as well.
So she's not going to abdicate, she's already said that, but you do get the impression that this is the sort of the start of the transition of power to the younger generation.
If that was it, you can see a few things going on. So someone's going to have to step in to Prince Philip's role on big state occasions, for example. Probably the most obvious person to do that is Prince Charles. So if you imagine then you've got Prince Charles and the Queen next to each other. As she steps back more, he steps forward more, so that helps with the transition whilst keeping the continuity. We've also got Kate and William moving to London full-time now and taking up full-time responsibilities, so there is a transition, but they do things at a glacial pace because one of the most important things for the British monarchy is to represent continuity. And if there's a crisis in the country, the people want to look to something that they know has been there, and the great difficulty they have with the Queen, realistically, is that she's immensely popular, and we haven't known another monarch, most of us, have we?
Yeah, well, she's 91 as well, so who knows how many more years she could go for. We saw the Duke of Edinburgh yesterday at Lord's Cricket Ground here in London. We've seen him today as well after that announcement. I'm wondering, would this sort of announcement have been long in the planning, or would it have been as a result of perhaps a change in his health?
I think it would have been in the planning, and he wouldn't have been out and about today if it was his health. And yesterday, and you know, even over Christmas when he was ill, they were playing down, you know, any concern about his health. Obviously he's older and he's more susceptible to becoming very ill, but they've never certainly health is not the issue. This is Prince Philip, who, as you know, has got quite a character. He's very decisive. He says what he thinks, just deciding he doesn't want to do it anymore. I think that's what's happened. And the Queen, after 70 years of marriage, is accepting maybe he should be allowed to move on. So I think it's as simple as that.
He does very much run the household behind us, though, we understand.
Yeah, that apparently is the deal, that he'll stand behind her in public, but he runs things behind the scenes. I know that, for example, he runs Windsor. He is the estate manager, effectively, and that's her and his, you know, treasured home. So he runs, yeah, he runs things.
Max, thanks very much. We appreciate it. Well, the British Prime Minister, Theresa May, put out a statement reacting to the news. CNN's international diplomatic editor, Nick Robertson, joins me now with more. Nick, it's a busy time in British politics at the moment, and now it looks like we've got something of a royal shake-up with the British royal family. Is this going to upset the apple cart somewhat?
I think they're going to take it in their stride, although it does seem to have been perhaps not that well choreographed between Buckingham Palace and 10 Downing Street. 10 Downing Street got out their statement, the Prime Minister's statement, within 10 minutes or so of the public statement from Buckingham Palace. So there was some sequencing there. Of course, Theresa May had met with the Queen just yesterday, as she was dissolving Parliament, that official process, because there is, as you say, there's a lot going on. There's a general election in a month's time, the local elections today, and of course Britain's future relationship with the European Union is all out there. So